A young pirate and his band set off on an adventure in search of lost treasure. Along the way, they must defeat sea monsters and powerful enemies to reach their goal. Today, we're going to recap the story of the One Piece live-action mystery and adventure series from 2023. 22 years ago in the port city of Logatown, a man named Gold D. Roger, the biggest pirate, was arrested today. The head of the Marine Force was going to punish him today by killing him. So he is brought in front of everyone, so that everyone can get advice to see his death. And after today, no one can become a pirate. All the pirates in this world should be killed, because this pirate was the biggest and most dangerous pirate at that time. Because he had stolen a lot of treasure in his life and hidden it in a special place. And that pirate tells everyone that, I have hidden a lot of treasure in the sea. That's why I tell everyone to go to the sea and find my treasure. Now people are so happy to hear this. They start raising slogans for him, because people now had the passion to find the treasure. Now seeing this, the head of the marine base tells them to kill the pirate immediately, on which two soldiers put their big rods in him, and the pirate dies there. But now all the people start going from there to find that treasure. That means now they had decided to become a pirate. Seeing this, the head of the marine base gets very angry, because his plan was reversed. He wanted the pirates to be killed. But after the death of that pirate, now a lot of pirates had come forward. And now they went to find the treasure of that big pirate. After this, we are shown the story of 22 years later. We see the hero of the story in the boat whose name is Luffy. Luffy was also going to find the treasure of that pirate, because he wants to be the biggest pirate in the sea. And he has come a long way in his journey. But the boat in which he was riding, now water had started coming into it, because he was traveling for many days. Now he does not drown, so he quickly goes and sits in a drum. All his stuff started floating in the water, and the drum in which he was hiding. But here at least he was saved from drowning. But then his drum, while floating, reaches between the ships of two pirates. The two ships were fighting each other. Now here the captain of the big ship was a woman. To catch her, the marine base had kept a big reward. She, along with her companions, then attacks the people of the other ship. She kills them one by one and makes them prisoners. She also brings them to her ship. The captain's companions also start looting the stuff of the other ship and bringing it into their ship. They also pick up that drum and bring it to their ship, on which Luffy was hiding. As soon as night falls, Luffy comes out of the drum. But a boy who is a prisoner sees him coming out, and he gets scared seeing Luffy and shouts. Luffy puts his hand on his mouth and makes him quiet, and says, "Do not be afraid, I will not harm you." After which Luffy tells him about himself, that I am also a pirate. And that prisoner boy says that you do not look like a pirate, because you are looking good. On which Luffy's answer was that no, all pirates are not the same, some are good too. Now here we are shown Luffy's childhood scene, and we know that he was fond of becoming a pirate since childhood. Luffy also liked a hero of pirates, who was also a pirate himself, and Luffy thought of him as his own hero. Now when the pirate hero comes back with his team, Luffy tells him, "Please include me in your team." On he replies that, "Son, you are still young. You are not even ready to become a pirate, because this job is very dangerous." Now after hearing this, Luffy got excited. He goes to the highest point of the ship, and takes everyone's attention to him, and then stabs his face with a knife and makes a mark, so that he can show everyone that I am no longer a child, and can become a pirate. The story comes back to the present time, where Luffy was telling all this to that prisoner boy. That boy asks him, "How can you dream of becoming a pirate? Because being a pirate is not such a special thing." On which Luffy replies that no, it is very good to be a pirate, because by becoming a pirate, you can travel the sea with your friends. You can go on an adventure, and besides, no one says anything to the pirates. They are free. That's why I am so happy to become a pirate. The prisoner boy says, "I also want to be free. But the captain of this ship has imprisoned me here, and she will never let me be free." The sound of the captain's snoring was so loud. Luffy asks, "What is this? What kind of sound is this? Have you kept a sea monster here?" On which the prisoner boy says that this is the sound of the captain's snoring. Now the prisoner boy secretly takes Luffy upstairs, and says that they are all sleeping, so you run away from here. Now Luffy was going from there, because everyone knows about him from the chaos, and they wake up from sleep. After which the captain also comes here. Now the captain thinks that the prisoner boy was cheating me. He was also running away from here. That's why she attacks both of them with her weapon. She hits the prisoner boy first, but Luffy comes forward and puts her weapon aside, and saves the prisoner boy. After which he starts fighting alone with the captain and her companions, although the captain's companions fire at him. But not a single bullet can harm Luffy. Seeing this, the captain gets angry, and she picked up her heavy weapon, and hits Luffy in the stomach. But surprise, here Luffy pulls his body by making it elastic, and thus he is saved from her attack. Seeing this, the captain is quite surprised. How did he make his body elastic? And then Luffy makes his hands long and elastic, and goes to the other side of the ship. Then the captain also comes there. She attacks him again with her weapon, but Luffy moves back, and then the ship's wheel breaks, and there is a fire. Seeing all this, the captain becomes furious. She was angry with the prisoner boy. That's why she attacks him with her weapon. But then Luffy comes forward. The weapon hit his head. His head was crushed, but surprise, nothing happened to him. After which Luffy uses his most dangerous move. That is, his best way to kill. He makes his hands long and elastic, and makes a big punch, and he attacks the captain with it, due to which the captain falls far into the sea, and her work is over. Now seeing Luffy's powers, all those people are quite surprised and scared. That's why they gave up. Now Luffy was very happy with his deeds, and he was going to leave with the prisoner boy. Now let's see a swordsman, whose job is to catch pirates and kill them. Now a man came here who was a warrior. He tells the swordsman to join him, but he clearly refuses. Hearing the refusal, the warrior started fighting with the swordsman. Now he was a very good swordsman. He quickly moves his swords and fights the warrior, and then at one point, he used his swords very easily. He cuts the warrior and cuts him into 2 pieces, and in this way, the swordsman won this fight. Luffy and the prisoner boy had left that ship, and now they were moving forward in a small boat, because he saved Luffy's life, and Luffy returned the favor by saving his. That's why they become friends. The prisoner boy was quite surprised to see his powers. That's why he asks Luffy, "Where did you get the power of becoming flexible?" To which he tells him that in my childhood, when the pirate hero refused to include me in his team, then I got angry and ate a special kind of fruit. After this, I got the power to become flexible, because when the pirate hero held my hand, I moved forward from there, and my hand became long and became flexible. Then the prisoner boy asks, "Now where are we going?" Luffy tells him that we are going to the Grand Line. That is, the same place where the treasure of the great pirate is hidden. That boy asks, "Do you know the way to the Grand Line?" To which Luffy replies, "No, I don't know." But now that boy says, "I also have a dream like you. I actually want to become a marine soldier, so that I can help the weak people." After hearing this, Luffy says, "Then okay, let's do one thing. Now we go to the marine base from here. I will get the map of the Grand Line from there, and you can stop there to become a marine soldier." To which the prisoner boy says, "Wow, this is a very good idea. Let's do this." And now these two leave to go to the marine base. Now in the meantime, we see a girl named Nami in the sea, who was in her boat and her condition was bad. She was about to die, because she was feeling a lot of weakness. When she opened her eyes, she saw a big boat there, which had 2 boys. When Nami asks for help from them, but then she sees that these 2 are pirates. That's why she tries to cover the box in her boat with a cloth. It felt like there was something precious in it. Seeing this, the 2 boys get off their boat, come to Nami's boat, and try to open that box and see. As soon as they opened the box, there was nothing in it. Now when the boys saw above, then Nami steals their boat and runs away from there, because she did all this drama, so that the boys come in her boat, and she can run away after taking their boat. And now Nami also comes to the nearby marine base. There Luffy and the prisoner boy were sitting in a hotel and eating, where the swordsman also comes. A girl makes food for him with her own hands, but then the ill-mannered son of the marine captain comes here. He snatches the food from the girl's hand and drops it down, and crushes it with his own feet, after which he behaves very badly with the girl. The girl was very upset. The swordsman did not like this. That's why he tells the son of the marine captain to apologize to the girl, on which the ill-mannered boy laughs and says, "What did you say? I apologize to this girl. Never." Saying this, he takes out the sword. Seeing this, the swordsman also takes out his sword. Just by hitting him a couple of times, he defeats him. Seeing this, some other people also come to the swordsman to fight him, but he kicks one and drops him. He hits one's head on the table. He holds the arms of 2 men and breaks them, and throws them aside and hits. He holds one and rotates so that he kicks him hard. Then Nami also comes here. She also hits a man's head on the table, and injures him and takes him aside. Now the imprisoned boy was very scared. Hiding under the table, he was watching all this, while Luffy was enjoying this fight a lot. The swordsman killed all the marine soldiers, after which he catches the son of the marine captain. He was about to kill him. That's when the boy says, "Please leave me. I am the captain's son. I will give you whatever you ask for." Hearing this, the swordsman leaves him for now, and his dad comes to the marine captain to take his reward, because his duty was also to kill the pirates. But the marine captain says, "First, you have to give me the reward." which is that you have to be imprisoned with me for 7 days. On this, the swordsman says, if you try to imprison me, your son will die first. Hearing this, the son of the marine captain gets angry and tells his dad, "Dad, what are you doing? Give him the money." But his dad hits him and throws him away. Now the marine captain tells the swordsman, after this act of yours, now marine base will give you a reward, no matter how many pirates you can kill. Now you have 2 options. Either you work with us, or you get imprisoned with me for 7 days. On which the swordsman says, I will not work with you. But yes, I get imprisoned for 7 days. And now he is caught and imprisoned. He is tied up. Now the next day Luffy also comes here to steal the map of the Grand Line. Luffy came from a small way, upon observing that the swordsman is securely bound in that location. Then he opens his ropes and frees him, and goes back from the way he came from. There Nami steals a marine officer's uniform, wears it and goes inside, because she also came here to steal the map of the Grand Line. But when she was looking for the map, then 2 marine officers come inside, and recognize her, that Nami is not a marine officer. In fact, she is only wearing a uniform. So they attack her, but she also moved ahead quickly. She wraps the male officer in her leg and drops him down, and attacks the female officer from the road, and finishes her work. During this time, after breaking the roof, Luffy also comes here, because he heard everything. And now they both came to know that we have come here to steal the map of the Grand Line. Now Luffy starts going to the marine captain's office, because the map of the Grand Line is kept there. Then Nami also starts following him. But then suddenly the marine captain comes in front of them. And because Nami was wearing a uniform, so he considers her a marine officer. Nami tells him here that actually I have just imprisoned this prisoner, so I was going to put him in jail. Hearing this, the captain leaves from here. But here we saw that Nami is very cunning. She had cut the marine captain's pocket, and now the keys to his office had come to them. So now they both open the lock with the keys and enter his office. Separately, they start looking for the map of the Grand Line. The marine captain now comes to the place where those 2 officers were lying, who Nami had just beaten. Both the officers tell the marine captain that the girl with red hair, that is Nami, she is not a marine soldier. In fact, she has entered here. She is a pirate. Hearing this, the marine captain remembered that she has gone to my office. That's why he rings an emergency alarm here. There Luffy and Nami had found that safe, in which the map of the Grand Line was kept. But even after a lot of effort, they were not able to open this safe. Then the marine captain had also come out. He starts knocking on the door and tells them to open the door. But here Luffy holds the safe tightly. Nami comes behind him and grabs him tightly. Here Luffy uses his elastic power, pulls and stretches his arms, and both of them jump and come out of there. With the safe, both of them had come here safely. But then the marine officers come there and surround them from all sides. But here Luffy and Nami face them very bravely. Luffy pushes them away with his fists, while Nami beats them with a rod and kills them. And then the swordsman also comes here with his swords. He sees that Luffy and Nami, they are both children and are getting beaten by them. That's why he also jumps into this fight to help them. As soon as a soldier moves forward to kill him, he kicks him and puts him aside, and then jumps and falls on an officer's face. He hits the other with a sword and puts him aside. And these 3 kill all the marine soldiers. These 3 were still standing. That's when the marine captain comes here. He had come to fight them, because he had a blade weapon in his hand, with which he attacks them. But then Luffy and the swordsman come in front and start fighting him. Although the swordsman was fighting him with his 2 swords, but the marine captain was very brave. He was also getting heavier. That's why the swordsman also has to take out his 3rd sword. Here Luffy also uses his elastic power. He makes his arm long and faces him. But the marine captain also catches his hand easily. Now the swordsman puts his 3rd sword in his mouth and starts fighting the captain with 2 swords. As soon as he hits the captain with 1 sword, he jumps and falls far away. And now here Luffy also uses his special move. That is, by making the arm long. By making a big punch, he hits the captain on the face, with which he also falls far away and fell there. And now, finally, they were saved from the marine army and the marine captain, because of which they were very happy. The swordsman helps them more. He picks up the safe and takes it to Luffy's boat. Before they leave from here, the son of the marine captain comes here with guns. But then the prisoner boy also comes here, and he hits him hard on his face and makes him unconscious. Luffy is very happy to see him, that you have come here too. And now he also thinks of taking him with him, because now the marine army was after them. On which the prisoner boy says that no, you go. I will stay here to fulfill my dream. I will become a good marine officer to help people and to eliminate cruelty. After listening to him, Luffy was very impressed. And now he takes Nami and the swordsman in that boat and leaves from there. Now we see the head of the marine base again, who had caught the biggest pirate 22 years ago and had punished him. Now the head of the base finds out that someone from their marine base has stolen the map of the Grand Line. Knowing this, the head of the marine base gets very upset. And now he also comes to this marine base. Now we were shown a Joker, who is also a pirate, and he also wanted the map of the Grand Line. That's why he sends his people behind Luffy to steal that map. They're Luffy, Nami, and the swordsman are moving ahead of the boat. Here happily Nami opens the safe, from which they get the map of the Grand Line, seeing which they become very happy. Here Nami tells Luffy and the swordsman that the Sea of the World is situated in 4 parts, and the line of the land that is coming to the sea, there is a line above it, and it is called the Grand Line. The treasure is there, so now we will go there to find the treasure. They were just talking, and they felt a movement from the outside, because actually the pirates of the Joker had attacked their boat. His pirates were in the sky. They spread the gas of unconsciousness from there. As soon as the gas went inside the people, they also become unconscious by smelling it. Before becoming unconscious here, Luffy had seen those pirates. That's why he quickly hid the map of the Grand Line in his mouth, after which he became unconscious. After that, when these 3 came to their senses, then they see that we have been imprisoned in a big box, and all their things were taken by the pirates of the Joker. But Luffy tells them not to worry. The map of the Grand Line is absolutely safe with me. Here is in my stomach. Now as the box opens, then these 3 are on a stage, where the Joker and his companions were showing the show. The audience here were prisoners. By making them slaves, they were being forced to clap here. Now the captain of all this comes here. As soon as he sees him, Luffy recognizes that he is a pirate. There is also a lot of reward for it. Luffy tells the Joker here, "See very soon, I am going to be the king of pirates." On which the Joker says with a smile, "Oh, you will become the king of pirates. Just see, I will become, when I will steal the map of the Grand Line, and I will get that treasure." Then after saying this, the Joker asks him for the map of the Grand Line. But then the cunning Nami comes in front and says, "What are you talking about the map? Do you know, we have something more than a map." Saying this, she takes Luffy's cap and throws it up in the air. Now as everyone's attention went up, she gets a chance and runs away from here. Luffy stretches his hand again to hold his cap. Now seeing his elastic power, all the people are very tense. Even the Joker. How did he do this? Now when Nami comes out of the circus, when she sees that the Joker has destroyed their whole city, seeing the bad condition of the city, she was also thinking, that's when the Joker's people come here and catch her, and bring her to their head, the Joker. Then the Joker's people catch the swordsman and Nami, and take them with them. Joker comes to Luffy, and asks him about the map of the Grand Line, but he doesn't tell him anything. Because of which the Joker got angry, and to punish Luffy, he ties his hands and legs, and by pulling them, he stretches them longer, because he felt that doing this would hurt Luffy. But Luffy was laughing instead, because he was not in pain but he was enjoying. Now when the Joker comes to Luffy, then he recognizes him by his cap, that this is the cap of the pirate hero. Then here the Joker tells him that when I was your age, then me and the pilot hero used to be in the same team, but he also betrayed me. Now to take the map from Luffy, the Joker makes a move here. He brings a child in front of him and says that if you don't give the map, then I will kill him. Seeing this, Luffy got angry and somehow he gets himself released. And here he uses his special move. That is, he stretches his arms and makes a big punch and hits the Joker on the face, which breaks his head and breaks away from the body and falls far away. But surprisingly, even after breaking his head, the Joker was not dead but alive. His severed head was speaking and laughing, and the body was also doing its work. And then his head comes again and gets attached to his body. Seeing this, Luffy gets very surprised. Then the Joker tells him that like you, I too had eaten that special kind of fruit. So then I got this power. That is, I can cut my body into pieces and can also join again. Now the Joker stands there, separates his hand, and sends his hand to Luffy. He breaks the unconscious gas again, by which Luffy also becomes unconscious. There Nami and the swordsman were now imprisoned. But here Nami had the key to open the lock. With the help of this, she starts opening the lock. But then here a companion of the Joker came. He comes to the swordsman and says that you had beaten my brother and my people badly, and today I will take revenge of that thing. I will also beat you in the same way. Now the swordsman was tied to a round thing like a wheel, by which the Joker he beats that man, and with the help of knives, he repeatedly aims at him. But he was a failed aimer, and none of his aiming seemed right. Meanwhile, Nami opens the lock and comes out quickly. He kicks this man of the Joker and throws him towards the swordsman. The swordsman quickly catches him with his arm. Nami opens the ropes of the swordsman. When he is free, he beats that man and makes him unconscious, and they both come out of here. Now the head of the marine base had also come here. Here the marine captain lies to the head of the marine base so that he can trap the prisoner. He says it was my son's mistake, because of which pirate that is Luffy. He stole the map of the Grand Line and ran away from here. A new marine officer saved my son by saying that he makes him meet the prisoner, the head of the marine base. When he sees the prisoner, he gets suspicious that he is nervous, so surely he is also with Luffy. So he calls him to meet him alone. Now when the prisoner went to meet him, then the head of the marine base tells him, "Tell me, since when are you working with those pirates? Because I have known all the truth. I am sure." Here the head of the base also says that once you were seen with Luffy, so now whatever is the truth, tell me quickly. Hearing this, the prisoner got very nervous, and he tells all the truth to the head of the marine base. Says that Luffy had helped me to free me from my captain. Then he and I ran away from that ship and came here, after which he left, but I stayed here because I wanted to become a marine officer. Now the head realizes that he is telling the truth, so he includes the prisoner along with him so that they can catch Luffy together. There the Joker caught Luffy and put him in a tank. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself here and gets very worried, because in this tank, the seawater was flowing gradually, and because of the seawater, Luffy is not able to use his powers here, because he was becoming weak here. Then the Joker also came here, and he again asks for the Grand Line, but Luffy does not give him. Because of this, the Joker got very angry, and he increases the speed of the water in the tank. And now the seawater came there quickly, and started falling on Luffy. Now we are shown Luffy's childhood scene again, where at that time he was very sad, when the pirate hero left him alone and went. After his departure, another pirate came here, who was very bad. As soon as he comes, he catches Luffy and starts beating him, starts troubling him. But just at this time the pirate hero came here again. When he saw that these people are treating Luffy like this, then he killed all the companions of that pirate one by one. But by then that bad pirate took Luffy, put him in the boat and came to the sea. But then a very big sea monster comes here and attacks his boat, because of which his boat turned upside down, and both of them go to the sea and fall. Because of drowning, the bad pirate dies there, before Luffy drowns in the water and dies. Here the pirate hero comes and saves his life. After this, that sea monster comes up again to attack them. He opened his big mouth and was about to eat Luffy. That's when the pirate hero comes and saves him. As soon as the monster closed his mouth, the pirate hero stares into the monster's eyes. This scared the monster a lot and runs away from there. But Luffy sees that that monster has eaten one arm of the pirate hero, which hurt little Luffy a lot. So now here Luffy realized that really I am still a child. I am not worthy of being a pirate. At this moment, the heroic pirate was on the verge of departing from this place. Before leaving, he gives his cap to Luffy, which was his last memory for Luffy, which in the present time, Joker was ruined in front of Luffy. But he couldn't do anything to save his cap, because by filling water, he was drowning in the tank. But because of this, he was very angry. In the meantime, here Nami and the swordsman also came. Nami hits the road by hitting the tank, by which the tank gets damaged. Luffy by then was also unconscious in the water. Now seeing both of them, Joker got very scared. He starts looking around his companions so that he can call for help. But Nami and the swordsman had already killed his companions. The cracks had become very deep, so the tank breaks, and with the flow of water Luffy comes out. He was also conscious by then, and now from his mouth, the map of the Grand Line also comes out. Now in front of Luffy, two things were lying, map and his cap, because his cap was more important. That's why he moves towards it. Luffy picks up the cap, while Joker picks up the map, seeing which he was very happy. Seeing this, the swordsman attacks him with a sword. The swordsman had cut his throat, but with his strength, he joins his throat again, and he starts showing him his powers. That means in front of his eyes he cuts his body parts, and starts joining again. And then he, by cutting a lot of pieces of his body, attacks Nami and the swordsman. Although Nami and the swordsman were fighting with the pieces of his body, but he was hitting them hard. Seeing this, Luffy got very angry at Joker. That's why he also got up to fight him. He uses his special move here. He passes his punch to his stomach. But anything wasn't happened to Joker, and now he also attacks Luffy. Joker's cut hand comes and grabs Luffy's neck, and starts strangling him. When Luffy saw on the side, there were a lot of boxes lying there, which Luffy shows to Nami and explains his whole plan. after which Luffy and the swordsman, by doing this, throws the pieces of Joker's body towards the boxes, and Nami quickly with the help of a rod keeps them trapped. That's why the Joker was left with a few parts of body. Now, he became very little, and now here Luffy uses his special power. He stretches out his arms, and makes big hands. He attacks him with both his hands, and blows him away, after which Luffy gives that map to Nami, because now he believed in both of them, and they became good friends. Now all three of them free the prisoners there, who were made an audience and made to sit there. There the head of the marine base arrested the marine captain, and tied him up there, because the head had known that he is not a good marine captain. He is very bad and he is very unjust. He is also very cruel. Now the head of the marine base decides that now I will make my own new marine army and go to catch Luffy. His new marine army was standing in front, in which the prisoner boy and the son of the marine captain were also included. Immediately after which to catch Luffy, they go to the sea. There Luffy, by freeing everyone, with his two companions, Nami and the swordsman, sit in the boat and leave from there. Now Nami goes alone and calls someone and tells that the map of the Grand Line has come to me, and now I am coming, so that we can understand here that Nami is cheating them, and she is with someone else. We are shown the time of 7 years ago from there, where a child who was a friend of Luffy, he used to spread the rumor in his village that the robbers have come and hide quickly. Because of this everyone used to get very scared, and immediately went to their homes and hid. Now people used to think that he is telling the truth, but after some time, people realized that he was lying. No robbers used to come here, so now no one believes what he says. They don't get scared, and neither hide in their homes. Now, the story comes back in the present time, where that child that is Luffy's friend has grown up now. But still, he spreads the rumor that the robbers have come hide quickly. But now no one believes what he says. There Luffy and his companions were moving ahead. Then their ship breaks, because there was a hole in it, and water was coming in. So now to buy a new ship, they come to Luffy's friend's island, and let their old ship drown in the water, so that no one can reach them. The head of the marine base was moving ahead with his team to catch Luffy. The Joker had taken all his body parts from those boxes. He had joined them, and now he was like before. He was also standing there. Then a strange fisherman comes to him, and says, "Come with me, our fisherman's head has called you." But the Joker refuses to go with him, and started trying to escape from there, but then that strange fisherman punches him in the face, which makes the Joker unconscious there. Then the fisherman picked him up and brought him with him. There Luffy was roaming on this island, and was in search of a new vessel for his own use, or he likes a ship, when he went to see it. Then in this ship, Luffy's friend was there, who used to spread rumors. Here he meets Luffy and tells him that I take care of this ship. If you want this ship, then come, I'll take you to meet my friend. Because this ship belongs to her. Not just the ship, the whole island belongs to her. After hearing this, Luffy, Nami, and the swordsman got ready to meet her. And now Luffy's friend takes those three to meet his friend at her house, where we see her house. It was magnificent and beautiful, because that girl was very rich. After which that girl comes out from inside. Her friend was also with her. With the girl, her friend was there too, whose name was Clador. Now this rich girl has her 18th birthday tomorrow, which means she will be 18 years old tomorrow. So her friend comes here and wishes her a happy birthday. Then he introduces Luffy, Nami, and the swordsman to the girl, saying that these three are my friends too. Then the rich girl tells Luffy's friend that tonight, you and your friends stay here to have dinner with us. Here it is found that the rich girl's parents are dead, and now she lives alone in this house. That's why her friend and the servants take care of her. Now, when the rich girl was sitting alone, then secretly that boy, that means Luffy's friend, comes to her. As a birthday gift, he gives the pearl brought from the sea. And to make her happy, he says a lot of things here, that I have gone to the sea many times, and done an adventure. During the conversation, the girl started coughing. Then Luffy's friend gives her tea, which makes her feel better. When Luffy and Nami went to the clothes room, she was very worried that there are so many clothes here. Which one should we wear? Then the swordsman comes here, and he asks them that the boy with that rich girl, do you recognize him? I feel as if I have met him before. On which Luffy and Nami say that no, we don't feel that way. They're Clador in his sweet talks, and makes her very happy. The rich girl hugs him and says that I consider you my best friend. You are very close to me. But Clador was not her friend but her enemy, because to kill the rich girl, he had made a plan with both the servants, so that after her death, everything will be his, and he can rule this island. Because of this, Clador was giving poison to the girl every day, because of which the girl is sick. Here both the servants to kill the girl had made a poisonous soup, so that before her 18th birthday they can kill her. Then at night, there is a party, where Luffy, Nami, and the swordsman enjoy the party a lot. They eat delicious food. Here Nami talks to a man, who was a special person here, because he used to take care of the business of the rich girl. He was the dealer here. Now the rich girl comes here with Clador, and meets her dealer. Now the swordsman talks to Clador and asks him, "You seem to know me. Have we met before?" On which Clador refuses that no, I don't think so. We are meeting for the first time. Now the dealer tells the rich girl that I want to talk to you about something important. But Clador refuses and says, "We'll talk later. First, let's eat food." Now when all these people were eating food, then Luffy talks to the rich girl about that ship, that we want to take that, because we are pirates, and going for the Grand Line, so we need that ship. The rich girl says that tonight after 12 I will be 18 years old. Then everything will come under my control. Then I will give you the ship. She was talking that now the girl is getting sick. Clador says that she needs some rest. Now all of you go from here. But the rich girl refused. That no, don't tell them to go. Tonight they will stay here. After hearing this, Clador also becomes quiet, and picks up the rich girl, and goes to leave her in her room. Now the head of the marine base and the prisoner, when they were sitting at one place, then the son of the marine captain comes there, and tells them that near an island, we have got the stuff of Luffy's ship. On which the head of the marine base says, so it means that Luffy has gone to that island. So now you both go to that island, and bring Luffy here. Now when the dealer was alone, then Clador comes to him, because he wants to kill the dealer. The reason was that the dealer had known the truth about Clador. Tonight, he will tell the rich girl the whole matter. Now here we saw that Clador also has the speed of running and the power of the blade. He had 5 blades in his hand. He gets them inside the dealer, and kills him very badly. Now we see the Joker, whom the fisherman brought to his head. The head tells the Joker that I am the biggest, and the most dangerous pirate here. If you loot anything here, then you will give me half of it. On which the Joker says, but I am not able to do anything. There is a boy named Luffy roaming everywhere here. He also has a map of the Grand Line. He will find that treasure. On which the head of the fisherman says, who is Luffy and where is he now? The Joker says that you leave me. I don't know where he is right now, but I can help you find him. On which the head believes and leaves him. Now, Luffy and the swordsman come out of their rooms to eat food and to drink alcohol. And now these two go to the kitchen together, where Luffy's friend was already situated. And now these three start talking here. Now Nami also comes out of her room, and starts stealing things here. After which she goes to the rich girl's room. That girl, after seeing the bag in Nami's hand, understands that she is stealing. But still, she doesn't say anything to Nami. In fact, she starts talking to her like friends. During their talks, Luffy's friend says that my dad was also a very big pirate, but right now he is missing. Now after hearing his name, suddenly Luffy exclaims, "Oh, I recognize him. I have met him and I promise you that I will meet you to your dad." Now the swordsman asks him, "Is there alcohol to drink here?" On which he says yes, in the basement. There is a lot of alcohol, go and drink there. Now the swordsman and Luffy's friend come to the basement. But when they were moving forward, then they find the dealer's dead body here. After seeing him, both of them get very worried and think that who must have killed him. Where then Clador comes in front of them. He also shows them his 5 blades. After seeing them, the swordsman understands that who is he? Clador was actually the captain of the Black Army, who are bad pirates. A lot of money has been given as a reward for him. Now, suddenly the swordsman attacks him with his sword, but with his blade, his sword falls down, and thus he is saved from his attack. And then Clador, with the power of his speed, disappeared from there. In the meantime, Clador's 2 companions, the servants, come here. One servant hits something on the head of the swordsman, and makes him unconscious. Seeing this, Luffy's friend runs away from here quickly from a small place, and he is saved from being caught by the servants. Now Clador came back here, and tells his servants to find their dead bodies, that is of the dealer and the swordsman, saying that he left from here. Luffy came to the kitchen, because he was hungry, so he couldn't resist seeing the poisonous soup, and he drinks all the soup. So he doesn't die but becomes unconscious immediately. There Nami too, after talking to the rich girl, became her good friend, and the stuff that Nami stole, she keeps it all back. There the 2 servants, the dealer's dead body and the unconscious swordsman, were brought together near a well and throw them inside. After which they also leave from there. Luffy's friend, who was already very nervous, now he again goes to every house and tells the truth this time, that believe me, wake up. The robbers have really come here. Although this time, he was telling the truth, but no one was ready to believe him. And then Luffy's other friend, that is the prisoner, also comes here with his companions. Here Luffy's friend tells the prisoner everything, that the captain of the Black Army has come here, and is killing everyone. I have come here to tell about him." On which the Marine captain's son says that this is a lie. "The captain of the Black Army was killed by my dad. That's why we have come here to do the work. That's what we will do. To find Luffy." Hearing his name, Luffy's friend tells, "You have come here to find Luffy. He is also here." And now he takes them to Luffy. There when Nami comes to the kitchen, she gets very worried that Luffy is lying unconscious here. She does not understand. How did he become unconscious after drinking the soup? But then she felt a movement and she quickly goes and hides in a place. There actually, Clador and his companions had come. These two servants and listening to them. Nami understands everything. What are they going to do? They are going to kill this rich girl. Luffy's friend outside the house had brought the Marine Army. Now as soon as Clador opens the door, Luffy's friend tells that he is the captain of the Black Army, the robber. But here Clador starts accusing him and says that his mental balance is not good. That's why he often talks like this. He has been making such stories since childhood. Now after hearing this, no one believes Luffy's friend's words, except for the prisoner boy. He felt that Clador is a liar, and Luffy's friend is telling the truth. Now the Marine captain's son tells Clador that Luffy is here, then Clador says yes, and he hands Luffy over to them, who was half unconscious. Now Nami comes out of there. She attacks the servant with a pen, and makes him unconscious, and runs away from here. Luffy's friend also ran away from there, and came to the rich girl. Clador tells the prisoner boy, "What are you doing here? Go away from here." He insults him and closes the door in his presence. Now Nami also came to the rich girl, where Luffy's friend was already present. Now here Nami and Luffy's friend together tells the rich girl about the truth of Clador, that he is not your friend but an enemy, and is planning to kill you to get everything. Now the swordsman who was alive, who was thrown in the well, he came to his senses there. He threw the rope out, and was trying to come out of there. But because the well was very deep, so he could not come out of there. But still he does not give up. He keeps trying again and again. Now here we are shown a scene from the swordsman's past, that when he was small, he was becoming a swordsman. So he had promised his friend that I will become the world's biggest swordsman. But later he found out that my friend has died. He was very sad, and then he thinks of fulfilling the promise made to his friend. That is, he left to become the world's biggest swordsman. It was 12 o'clock at the present time, and that rich girl was 18 years old. So now Clador goes to take over all of her property, and to kill her, he closes all the doors of the house, so that the girl does not run away, saving her life. After which he with his weapons, with his bladed hands, and with his servant companions, he goes to the rich girl's room. But the rich girl was already with Luffy's friend, and Nami was running away from the secret paths. These people were made inside the walls, and were going through a narrow path. But then the rich girl coughed, and Clador heard her voice, and he found out where they were. That's why he puts his blade hand on that wall. All three have a narrow escape from the swords, and now they run away from here quickly. The swordsman now tries to come up in the well himself. He was climbing up, but he was falling down again and again. But this time too he does not give up. And he got up again with a lot of courage. He started climbing up, and finally he comes out of the well. There the prisoner boy was taking Luffy with him. Luffy came to his senses, so the prisoner boy goes to him. Now Luffy comes here fully conscious, says to the prisoner boy that I have to go back from here, because Clador is really very dangerous, and the lives of my friends are in danger. I have to save them, because he is really the captain of the Black Army. But then the son of the Marine captain puts a gun on Luffy so that he cannot run away from here. In the meantime, the swordsman had also come here, and he kills all his companions. Then he punches the son of the Marine captain so that he falls unconscious there too. After which Luffy and the swordsman go out to save their companions. In the house the three, that is, the rich girl, Luffy's friend, and Nami, come and hide in an old room. But then Clador also comes here. He suspected that he was here, so he starts looking for them. Meanwhile Luffy and the swordsman, as soon as they open a way to the house and come inside, Luffy goes up and the swordsman on the other side. In front of the swordsman, Clador's two servants come together, so he quickly grabs his sword and starts fighting them. As soon as the rich girl and Nami come out, Clador quickly comes forward and catches them. He was just about to kill them. That's when Luffy's friend, with his weapon, aims at him. But this time too he survives. Nothing happens to Clador. Then Clador comes close to him at full speed and attacks him and throws him away. Then he comes close to the rich girl and Nami. He picks up his blade hand to kill the rich girl. But then Luffy comes behind, who made his hand elastic and long and caught him, and thus saved the rich girl. After which now Luffy starts fighting Clador. Using the power of his elasticity, he was picking him up and killing him. but because Clador was very dangerous and powerful. That's why Luffy can't compete with him for a long time. Clador attacks Luffy many times, because of which Luffy has to wait a bit. But then Luffy hits him hard after he gets a chance, and he falls far away. The swordsman too, after fighting both the servants, was hitting them a lot. Once he attacks with the sword in such a way that he throws him down the stairs, and thus he was hitting them hard. Their Clador too now comes face to face and fights Luffy, and throws him away with his blade and beats him. But this doesn't affect Luffy much. He was saving himself very easily. Now here Luffy uses his most special move. He uses the power of elasticity, and makes his neck long, and attacks Clador with it and throws him away. The swordsman too defeats both his companions, and made them prisoner, which means he caught all three of them. Now in this way all these friends fought with them, and defeated them, and all of them were saved. But Nami says, we should get out of here quickly, because the Marine Army has known that we are here. They must be coming here to catch us, and because they didn't have any ship to escape. That's why the rich girl gives them the same ship. Now here, the rumored boy that is Luffy's friend too, prepares to accompany him on the adventure, and now all four of them get out of this island by sitting in that ship. Now we see that Clador too was not dead but was saved alive, and he too got out of this island by sitting in the boat. The prisoner boy had come back, where he apologizes to the head of the marine base. Please forgive me. I tried a lot but I couldn't catch Luffy. The head tells him, don't worry, you tried, and completed your work too. You brought those people out of the island. That's enough. Now we will catch them. He was saying this because he was able to see Luffy's ship with his binoculars, and the head of the marine base says that attack their ship quickly. There all those people were enjoying a lot on their new ship. They were happily moving forward on their journey, but then the bombardment started on them. Seeing this, all the friends come up. Luffy sees from the binoculars who is doing this, and he sees the head of the marine base there. Seeing them, Luffy was quite surprised and said, he is my grandfather. Now, hearing this, all three of them are quite surprised. That is Luffy's friend, Nami, and the swordsman said, he is your grandfather. When Luffy says yes, and they think why his grandfather is trying to capture him. When he attacks Luffy's ship in this part, the story moves into the past of Luffy. There we see that when Luffy was young, since then his grandfather wanted him to be a marine officer. Luffy always wanted to be a pirate, so he tells his grandfather, when I grow up, I'll be a pirate and a big pirate. Hearing this, Luffy's grandfather got angry, and he threw Luffy aside. Then he threw aside the ship that was made by him. He takes him from there. In the present time, we see Luffy's grandfather Garp. He attacks his ship with bombs. Then he asks them to surrender. It means to hand them over. But Luffy clearly refuses. Hearing this, his grandfather got angry, so he throws a tank's missile at them. Seeing this, Luffy blows his body like a balloon. After being hit with that missile, he sends that missile back to their ship. As the missile hit their ship, the upper part of the ship breaks. They tremble, and taking advantage of this, Luffy leaves after taking his ship. When they were moving ahead, Luffy smelled food. He observes and points to his friends, the place where the fragrance was coming. That was a hotel. They took their ship, and it was a big and magnificent hotel. They went there to eat the food. We see a good chef there. He cooks tasty foods. Right now, he was making a tasty dish. But the owner of the hotel comes there. He scolds him and says this dish is useless. He yells at him and sends him out after making him a waiter instead of a chef. When the chef comes out, he sees two people fighting. He gets angry that they're spoiling the hotel's environment. He kicks them hard and teaches them a lesson, and made them sit there. He comes to Luffy and his colleagues and goes after taking the orders. His grandfather, Garp, has fixed the ship. Now, a prisoner comes to Garp. He is a marine officer and also a friend of Luffy. He tells Garp that we've to take help from the other marine group. Garp clearly refuses to take their help. Now, he calls a man who is a swordsman of the pirates. He was the best swordsman of the world. He was still fighting with a pirate. He was hitting them with the sword and throwing them easily. After killing everyone with his sword skills, he breaks the pirate's ship. As a result, their ship sinks. Then the head of pirates attacks the swordsman with a missile, but he breaks the bomb into two with his sword. Then he moves ahead and kills the head of the pirates. Garp tells the swordsman about Luffy. He tells him to bring him alive to me at any cost. The prisoner boy, the marine officer, was hearing this all. During cleaning, the marine officer asks the other officer, who is the swordsman. He tells him that he is the best swordsman in the world, whom no one can fight. He is the swordsman of the pirates. The government didn't stop pirates, so the government shakes their hands with these pirates. Now, they help the marine army. In return, the marine officers don't harm them. They don't get into them whatever they do. Hearing this, the marine officer gets shocked and asks, the marine officers are there to help the people. Why did they let pirates do anything and can't stop them? The other officer says this is the worldly matters, nor you harm them and not will they. Hearing this all, the boy comes to Garp and says that you've sent that swordsman to capture Luffy. Tell me, how can we take the help of the pirates? Is there a different rule for them in the world? Garp tells him that the world is like this. It seems good, but actually it isn't. It is not necessary that the law that we make can be implemented everywhere. So we've to live with this and have to adopt this. We also have to accept that we can't change the world alone. He understands Garp's words and go from there. Luffy and his friends finish their meal fully. When it comes to billing, he says, actually, I don't have money by now. When I'll take the One Piece treasure, I'll return your money with markup. Hearing this, the owner gets angry. He brings Luffy to the kitchen. He tells him that you're not paying the bill, so wash the dirty pots. During that time, the chef also comes, whom the owner again starts to scold. When Luffy was washing the pots, he sees the special dish made by the chef. He tastes it. He finds it tasty, so he eats it. Later, he goes to the chef and says, your dish was so delicious and I enjoyed a lot. The chef replies that I'm the best chef in this hotel. But the owner doesn't listen to me. I want to become world's best chef. I want to search for a place where I can find all kinds of animals, where I can find tasty spices to cook. Hearing this, Luffy motivates him. You've to pursue your dream. Then a boy comes to him, because he was quite hungry. So the chef cooks food for him. The boy eats the food with great fun. Seeing his kindness, Luffy tells him to join our team. We're going to find the Trora One Piece. Hearing the name of One Piece, he says you're going to find One Piece. Me and my friends also went, but the Grand Line is the most dangerous place. We're lost everything. Only I survived. All of my friends died. So bring out the thought of going there. They were talking there, whereas the swordsman also comes out. He was talking a lot about how we defeated the marine soldiers. I have a friend Luffy who did this all. Hearing Luffy's name, the swordsman says that I want to meet him and take me to him. He first takes him to Nami and the swordsman, to Zoro, who is a friend of Luffy. The swordsman Zoro sees the other swordsman and recognizes him, as Zoro wanted to become the best swordsman in the world. He has to fulfill the promise that he made with his friend. Zoro challenges the other swordsman for the swords fight. The other swordsman accepts this challenge and says we'll meet tomorrow. Saying this, he went from there. Hearing this, Nami and Luffy's friend got scared. Here they came to Luffy and Nami tells Luffy about everything. Nami stops Zoro to fight, on which he can die. But Zoro says that I want to fight, because I have to fulfill my dream. I have to become the world's biggest swordsman. Hearing this, Luffy says, okay, I'll not stop you. It is your dream, so fulfill it. I'll never come between my friends' dreams. Nami gets angry with this, because now she considered them as their friends. Because they didn't listen to her, so she plans to leave them. She begins to pack her bags and also keeps the map of Grand Line that she needs. After keeping the luggage, she was ready to leave them. The next day, Luffy, Zoro, and their friend go to the swordsman. The swordsman takes his small swords to fight. Zoro also moves after taking his two swords. The swordsman stops his attack with his small sword and throws it away, and Zoro was defeating from him. He recalls his friends and he gets motivated. He moves ahead to attack him again. Then the swordsman puts his small sword into Zoro's body. Seeing this, these three were blown away. Name also came there because she was scared of his friends. But Zoro doesn't give up. Seeing this, the swordsman says that you're really brave, so there should be a big encounter. Saying what, he takes his big sword out. Zoro also takes his third sword. Keeping it in his mouth, he attacks the swordsman by keeping two swords. But the swordsman cuts his two swords with his sword. His swords breaks into tiny pieces, but Zoro doesn't give up. He comes in front him to fight with him. To end this fight, the swordsman hits his sword at Zoro's chest. Zoro got a cut and he falls. The swordsman became quite impressed by Zoro. He doesn't do his duty that he capture Luffy. He tells Zoro that you're quite brave, so be cured soon and come to me after being powerful. I'll wait for you. Saying this, he goes from there. Then Zoro faints there. Luffy, Nami, and their friend take him to the ship. Seeing his cut, they understand. We need a doctor to save him. Luffy comes to the chef and his owner for the help. He tells them the whole matter and asks about the doctor. The owner says that there is no doctor here. He goes there to help him. The owner of the hotel begins to bandage him. He stitches his wounds and put the fish skin there, so he can be cured soon. Along with this, he tells his friends that his condition is bad. Your friend is standing in the middle of life and death. I find it is quite difficult for him to survive. His friends felt tensed. They lay Zoro down there. When the swordsman pirate comes to the ship, Garp asks him, where is Luffy? Haven't you brought him? He says, no, I didn't capture him this time, because I go with my will, not yours. I also know that Luffy is your grandson. Luffy is unique, and I guess he'll find One Piece treasure. He left after saying this. When Luffy doesn't come, Garp got quite angry. He begins to break the things, but the prisoner boy listened to his words secretly. The chef was making food for everyone, but Luffy doesn't eat because he was in Zoro's tension, nor he was able to take any decision that what he should do. Then the chef makes him understand that you're a captain, and the captain should have taken a decision. Despite the fact what kind of matter it is, the owner of the hotel was once the captain of the pirates. He used to take decisions very well. Hearing this, Luffy got surprised and asked, "How did you meet him?" The chef tells him that many years ago, when I was in the ship with my team. At that time, the owner of the hotel attacked our ship. Everyone ran in fear and I hid at a place. Then the owner of the hotel came there, and he tasted the dish made by me, which he liked a lot, and then he started to change it. He came to me and attacked me. He held me, and when he came to know I made that dish, he became quite impressed. There I told him about me dream as well. One day, I'll find my favorite place, and I'll becomes the #1 chef in the world. I was just telling him this and a sea storm hit. Our ship flipped and water started to come into it. Our ship was destroyed. We also drowned badly. When I woke up, I was stuck with the hotel owner into the middle of the sea. He saved his and my life. He had 2 bags and gave me the smaller one. That has food. I saw that he is quite clever. He took the big bag with him and gave me the smaller one. I asked him why he gave me the smaller bag, and why keep the big bag with him. He said because I'm a bigger one, that's why I need a big bag. He told me to go aside and wait for the ship to come. Don't come to me unless a ship comes. Hearing this, I took the food and went aside. Many days have passed and no ship has come. The food I was also ending up. I saw a ship after 25 days. Zoro shouted to see it, but the ship was far away from him. They couldn't see me and they went. Then 30 days passed and my food was about to end. Then I started to eat enough that was required to be alive. 50 days passed and my food was about to end. I was starving and trembling. I was quite angry and decided to steal the food of the hotel's owner. I went to him after taking the knife. I saw his condition is also bad like me. The bag there was present in the same way. I hit my knife, but there was no food in it. But it had gold, silver, and jewelry. It means he hasn't kept any meal for him. He gave me all the meal. He was alive because he cut his feet and ate during those days. I feel great sadness to see his condition. I asked him that I was a stranger for you. Then you do this for me? The hotel owner told me that the place you're finding, it was also my dream to find that place. I spend my whole life finding that place. I didn't find that place. So I wanted you to stay alive and fulfill your and mine dream, where I can cook food. Hearing this, I felt sad. The story comes into the present times, where the chef was telling them a story. He tells them that they'd been stuck there for 85 days. Then a ship saved our life. Now, Luffy, you've to take a decision. Hearing this long tale, Luffy doesn't get anything. Nami was sitting with Zoro. She was telling him stories through books and talking to him. So he regains his senses, but he wasn't getting his senses at all. Luffy comes and Nami brusts at him. This all happened because of you. If you wanted, you could stop Zoro from fighting. But you didn't stop him and let him to fight. He says it isn't like this. I can do anything for my friends. I'll never come between their dreams. There must a dream of you like him that you want to fulfill. Hearing this, Nami gets emotional and says that not everyone thinks like you. No one has enough time to think about his dreams all the time. Saying what she goes from there. Guard comes to the prisoner boy and tell him that Luffy is my grandson, I'm his grandfather. He doesn't get shocked to hear this, because he already knows this. But Garp tells him that I wanted Luffy to be a marine officer. He never listened to me. He always argued with me to be a pirate. Hearing this, the boy says that I also lived with Luffy. He is different from others and thinks differently. He'll become a pirate and will never give up on his dreams. He is crazy enough that if he needs to die to be a pirate, he'll die. So I suggest you, sir, to leave Luffy alone. Hearing this all, Garp doesn't act, but he got stubborn. He gathers all the marine officers and tells them that pirates are firm to their promise and will never give up on their words. From now, we'll be powerful and we'll never give up. We'll face the pirates at any cost. Now, a fisherman head who named Arlong. He comes with his 2 companions. He was dangerous and evil. He used to eat humans because he doesn't like humans. The owner of the hotel comes to Arlong and says, "Who are you and how did you come?" "This is my hotel." Arlong says, "I'm the owner of this whole area. I've come here to find a boy named Luffy. If he doesn't come soon, I'll kill all the people in your hotel and eat them." Now, Nami hears this all secretly. She comes to her friends and tell them the whole matter. She says that Arlong is quite dangerous. We've to leave soon. Hearing this, the chef begins to go and says, if he is dangerous then he'll harm our hotel. I'm going to save it. Luffy says stop, I'll also come with you. So he goes after Arlong and discovers that one of Buggy's ears has been hidden in his hat all this time. That's how the fish man managed to find him. When Arlong is distracted, Zeph takes the opportunity to shoot at them, but his bullet doesn't cause a scratch on the shark. Immediately, Kirubai attacks the old man and Sanji jumps on him in defense of his boss. After the cook is defeated, Luffy attacks the shark but soon discovers that he is no match for it. The young man is thrown out of the establishment and is about to be eliminated when Nami appears and informs him that she has managed to steal the map. Just then the crew discovers that the young woman has been working for Arlong all this time, and she manages to convince the shark not to eliminate Luffy. Hours later, Zoro wakes up and discovers the truth about Nami. Even after being betrayed, the Straw Hat believes that his friend was just another victim of Arlong and decides to go and rescue her. After refueling their ship, the crew is preparing to leave when Sanji shows up and informs them that he will be joining them to become the crew's official cook to help them find Nami. The pirates will enlist the help of Buggy, who will show them the way to the Fishmen's Sanctuary. When they get there, they have to pass through a village, where they find Nami collecting taxes from the villagers. Everyone in Kakoyashi village hates the girl, including her own sister, seeing her former companions in the village. Nami orders them to leave and says she doesn't need their help, realizing that the young woman isn't telling the truth. Luffy decides to pay her sister a visit and convinces Nezuko to tell him everything. She knows when they were both children, their village was invaded by Arlong's gang and all the villagers had to pay a tax to survive. As she didn't have enough money to save herself and the girl's mother decided to sacrifice herself so that they could live. After hearing this story, the group wonders why Nami is working for the guy who eliminated her mother, and Luffy is sure that she is being forced to do so. That night, the girl reminds Arlong of the deal they made and says that she managed to collect the 100 million berries to buy Kakoyashi village. Surprised to learn that Nami has managed to collect all this money, Arlong asks her to go and collect it and take it back to the shrine. Then when the young woman goes to collect her payment, the shark orders Kirubai to go after Nizumi, a Navy agent who is on the outskirts of the village. Minutes later, Nami arrives at her mother's grave and starts digging. When she pulls out a chest, Nezuko appears and orders her sister to explain what she's doing with all that money. After being discovered, the young woman says that when her mother perished, she offered to work for Arlong's gang because she had a great ability to draw maps. In exchange for her service, Nami received the right to buy Kakoyashi village for 100 million berries. This would give her the chance to free her people. Upon discovering the truth, Nezuko feels guilty for having hated her sister for all these years and asks her for forgiveness. At that moment, Nizumi appears with other marines and confiscates the treasure on the pretext that the money has been stolen. When she sees those men taking the money she has spent her whole life saving, Nami despairs and runs to the beach. However, they had already managed to escape. Just then, Luffy approaches, and for the first time in her life, Nami confesses that she needs help when she sees her friends willing to help her after everything she has done. The young woman is moved and even more surprised when she sees the villagers themselves coming together to support her. That morning, the 5 friends invade the sanctuary and join forces to fight a battle against the fishmen. Luffy and Nami go after Arlong, while the rest of the team confront his followers. At this point, Usopp begins to be chased by Chu and runs into the forest hoping to lose him. When he meets Arlong, Luffy is furious at the cruelty with which he treats Nami and destroys his weapon. He then orders his friend to get out of there while he eliminates the shark, just as he did with all those who tried to hurt his friends. Outside, while Zoro and Sanji continue the battle against their opponents, Buggy manages to recover his body. In escapes in the forest, Usopp has to dodge the numerous bursts of drink thrown by Chu and pretend to be eliminated, so he can attack him with his explosive fire bullet. After a few minutes of trying to hurt Arlong, Luffy realizes that his blows are having no effect and decides to follow a new plan. He uses his superpowers to destroy the columns that support the palace and causes the whole building to collapse. In an attempt to stop the attack, Arlong runs towards the pirate, but Luffy uses his rubber leg to hit him and destroy his mansion once and for all. At that moment, the entire building collapses and the crew begins to think that their captain is eliminated. But everyone is relieved when Luffy emerges from the rubble, now that the villagers have been freed, and they throw a party to celebrate. The Navy interrupts the celebration and Garp orders his men to surround the crew and challenges Luffy to a fight. The old man still hasn't accepted the fact that his grandson chose to be a pirate instead of following his footsteps and becoming a marine. Although he is old and has no special powers, Garp proves to be stronger than Luffy and throws the young man away every time he punches him. After a few blows, the Straw Hat can barely move, and yet he says he will never give up on his dream. The young man promises that he will soon find One Piece and begins to smile as he imagines himself being the king of the pirates. At that moment, Garp looks at his grandson and remembers Gold D. Roger, who even in the face of elimination never lost the twinkle in his eyes. Immediately, the Vice Admiral frees Luffy and decides to let him go on his way. After saying goodbye to the young man, he orders his men to arrest Arlong and his followers. The next morning, Kobe goes to break the news to his old friend, and Luffy is thrilled to discover that his face is on a wanted poster. After embracing, the two friends say goodbye once more, and the captain goes to tell his gang the news that now Luffy's head is valued at 30 million berries. Countless bounty hunters will go after him and his crew, but that doesn't worry him before setting off on his next adventure. When everyone see the poster of Luffy, they are very happy to see this and thinks finally his dream comes true. But the Joker is laughing when he sees this poster and thinks he will catch Luffy and get the prize. Then the swordsman comes to the pirate's hero. Actually, he was the hero Luffy likes a lot from childhood. The swordsman says that, long time ago you talk about a boy, now he became a big pirate of the sea. Actually, pirate hero also liked Luffy, that's why he is very happy to see this. On the other side, Luffy and everyone promising to fulfill their own dream and leave for their new adventure. In the end, we see an unknown person who got the poster of Luffy and burn it with cigarette. That means a new danger is coming for them. So what did you think of this movie recap? Leave it in the comments below, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.